walking the awakening path. I am super grateful you are here. Today we are sharing sacred space with amazing Olga, founder of Inner Evolution. Olga is energy healer and life coach. Grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and join us as we dive deep into Olga's awakening journey and the wisdom she has to share with us. Welcome, Olga.
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Olga, could you take us back to the beginning of your spiritual awakening?
So for me, it was a very long journey. Since very young age, I was drawn to everything spiritual, not religious, but spiritual. And I think I had that DNA memory that there is more to the world that we are taught in school or at home. A lot of knowledge that is just not shared with us. And I was born in Ukraine, in Kiev, and we had huge book market under open sky. And I remember I was collecting money, and it was quite a trip for me. It was probably 1 hour ride one way. And I was going to that market and was looking for the spiritual books and was reading them and was trying to practice, and some things were going very well, some things didn't. And now looking back, of course, I understand why. But at that time, I was probably 14, 15 years old, maybe even younger. So I always was searching for information and was trying to understand what else in there and what else is available. And even after that, I know that feeling of certainty. We were not born to wake up every morning, go to work there, come back, cook dinner, watch TV, go to bed, and repeat over and over and over again. I was certain there is something else, but it's like I couldn't find it. I didn't know where to get information. It was before internet was as accessible as it's now, and you really had to look for information in the books. And I think as more and more I was searching, information started to come for me, one drop at a time, one stepping stone at a time. And more I was open to receive and more I learned, then more and more deeper and deeper, more sacred information was coming to me. So it was a wild ride, but I was driven with that notion that there is more, how to tap into it, where to look for that information.
Wow, for a 15-year-old, that's quite some early age to explore the spiritual books. Olga, can you share with us the first actually books that help you with the spiritual awakening, with understanding that there is something beyond what this physical world and meaning would of the life?
So I don't remember the name of the book, but what I remember, it had when I'm looking back now, it had very deep meditation techniques and very deep visualization technique. That book didn't explain well exactly how you do it and how you manage it. So I made my share of mistakes that I wouldn't do now. But that was the beginning of my journey. And second book that has really deep knowledge, and I'm still going back to it. It was Jose de Silva, Psycho Cybernetics. And it's not that easy to read, but it literally explains how we create our reality by entering alpha waves, how we create our reality in beta waves, that's like our usual functioning, and zeta waves. So I was like rereading it so many times, and I'm still going back to it.
Thank you so much for sharing. I have it actually on my shelf. I didn't read that one yet, but it is on my shelf. So thank you for the recommendation. I'm gonna go for it.
You will love it.
Thank you, Olga. So was there a specific moment or event that changed like big time everything for you? Did you have like a huge change on your spiritual awakening? Or it was a process, like little by little?
So it never was linear process. And I think like the hardest part for me at least was like you keep doing something and you are taught and you are told like yes it will help you to achieve your goals, and then it feels like nothing works. And you keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And I feel like at some point, like I always was hitting that moment when like what I'm even doing. Like it's such a waste of time, nothing works. And why I continue doing it. And interesting thing, like and of course we start with small wishes because like like I want to manifest like this thing or like this situation or something because that's like basic things we come with, and then we develop our desires as we grow. So immediately when I was hitting that block like oh nothing works and I don't even understand why I'm wasting my time, what I'm doing, I was receiving the thing I was asking for. And it was coming like literally out of nowhere. But it was like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will continue doing it. So it was like that dingling carrot that kind of like when you feel like, okay, I will never get to it, they let you bite piece. So you keep going. And like later on, I understood that energy healing, work on the conscious and subconscious mind through the coaching or whatever it can be, visualizations, it's not linear process. It's not like you do it 10 times and at the end of the 10th time you receive what you want. It's cumulative process and there is divine timing involved. So like some things that seems like really big, they may happen immediately. And things that seems like, okay, why I cannot get that one? It's like such a small thing, just give it to me. They will not happen now because other things need to arrange and fall into places before that thing is happen, or it's not meant to, for you. And actually by not giving it to you, universe or higher powers, they just push you in the safe direction you meant to go. So but that understanding came like way later. First it was like, "Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, it works. I will keep going."
At the moment when you were starting to, yeah, question marking, boom. But for people who don't know Olga, she is a time bending person. She manifests like that. Yes, it's unbelievable how powerful manifester you are, Olga. Because I know you, and every time you want to manifest something, it shows up like that. So you really mastered your own technique of getting into things, and even working on the subconscious as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olga. Awakening can be beautiful, but also challenging. Do you remember some challenging moments?
For me, it definitely was truth, and also for many other people I know. I will not claim it's truth for everyone, but I feel like in our spiritual growth and our spiritual journey, we hit kind of a glass wall when you was able to create things and you was creating your reality and everything was happening for you, and then it's emptiness. It's like no matter what you do, you cannot shift things. And first time when like I hit that moment in my life, it was scary because you don't understand what's happening. You don't understand why you was able to shift things so fast before, and now you cannot. And usually that's part when it hits money, because money reflect your growth literally. It's like the easiest and the hardest thing to manifest. And interesting thing, my friend who also in the spiritual journey, she hit the same glass wall in her life. So we combine our efforts to understand what it is. Of course, we supported each other through this process. And then I realize like we are shifting timelines. And then there is this point where timelines will overlap, like literally point. And that's where your old life calls you and tests you if you will come back. Because it's like your choice, either you making step back, so you hit emptiness, and emptiness is place for all sins and for no sins at the same time. And many people scared of emptiness. It's the same like many people, they don't want to stay alone. They like either they call someone, or they watch TV, or they just turn on sound, or they listen to music. They cannot tolerate emptiness, because emptiness, that's when you see yourself. And that's the place where you have to look really deep in you and very critical and make changes that will help you to step in the new timeline. Or if you cannot do it, you will need to step back into your old timeline, but you cannot stay forever in that point of crossing. And it took me some time to understand, like it wasn't immediately, oh, here what it is. And yes, and I think like when we got it, like, okay, that's point of emptiness. Now I know that like, okay, it happens. I'm in this point of emptiness. So now I need to look like what I shift inside of me, what I change in my environment to step into new timeline, to speed up the process. But when it's first time for you feel like, oh, why I'm doing all these things and my life actually got worse. And in reality, your life never will get worse in that point. It just stillness, emptiness. That's what scares people. And they take step back. So, and I was almost ready to take step back, was like, oh my God, what is happening? It was so good and now it's not. And yeah, and then we realized like, no, it's time for change. And faster you make changes, faster you will step into your new timeline, into your new reality, like next version of you. So now I welcome it, but like first time it happened, it was scary.
Thank you, Olga. I call it the empty room that we are able to decorate with what we wish for. But since you mentioned that, do you have any advice if someone is exactly at that point? how they can, because it is like really scary to have the empty room. You don't know where you are, you don't know actually who you even are at that moment, because everything like, yeah, it's like such a big emptiness, like, yeah, it is kind of a little scary. Do you have any advice for people who are at that moment?
I actually do because I went few times through these moments and every time it's different. And I love your metaphor, empty room. So I saw it actually like sphere, huge sphere, but empty room is lovely because you can decorate it with whatever you want. So my advice would be if you hitting this point where you do a lot and you've been for some time in the spiritual journey and it feels like you're moving towards your goals and then you experience rollback as you perceive it, just remember two things. You cannot take your old life into your new reality. There is always price to pay. And it's not in bad sense, it's actually in good sense and good metaphor. Like, when people buy these old buildings to take them down and to build new building, more modern, better, new, the ones they want, they created. So it's the same, like you cannot build that big, nice new building on the like shaky fundament of the old one. It will just fall down. And it's the same. There are certain things in our lives we need to leave behind in order to step into the new timeline. And sometimes it's people, and that scares the most. But it's also about respecting their journey. Maybe they cannot step in that new timeline with you now, but they will catch up later. And some people, they just not ready yet. Or maybe they will not be ready in this lifetime. And we just need to respect it and let it be because they are on their own spiritual journey. We cannot drag them with us. And usually it's money as well, like your income seems to be cut. And look at it from other perspective, like, okay, your usual source of income got cut, but did quality of your life got worse? Because usually it's not. Usually other streams of income or finances that coming in, it's just you outside of your comfort zone to receive income from certain place or to receive like stable income every month. And universe just teaches you that you're always taken care of. Like you still live in the house where you live, you still drive your car, wear your clothes, eat the food you used to eat. But it just invites you to revisit your beliefs about money. And whatever happens, what I would invite you to do is just to find safe space where you will not be disturbed for some time. And imagine yourself sitting in that empty room and watching it and having moving truck loaded with things outside of your new house standing there and really think like what you want to take from your old life in this beautiful new house and what is really outlived its lifespan and you need to get rid of it. You just must. And invite feeling of new room, new life, new house in this space. And if you feel strong emotions coming in, like you don't want to let go of something and you feel like it's getting dragged out of your life, just listen to those emotions, let them be, let them unfold, and let them live their life cycle. Because what usually happens, we don't allow emotions, especially when they are negative emotions, because we are taught like, you cannot feel bad emotions, you cannot feel bad because then your frequency will drop. No, you cannot stuck those bad emotions in your body and carry it everywhere with you. And maybe it's time to release them. And to release them, you need to open up, feel them in full, let them live through their cycle, and transmute and transform into something new. And maybe after this work is done and you have your new beautiful room and you have ideas how it will be designed, your new room in your life, you will make a step into your new timeline. So you will move from that crossing point of the emptiness.
Thank you, Olga. And when you said emotions, I had a vision like, people, we got used to swiping the emotions under the rug. And then I thought like, oh my God, new house. So the rug has to be like also new. So thank you for pointing that. Yeah, emotions are big part of our awakening process, and to actually be able to face them is it is also a challenge. But just like you said, sit down with yourself and sit down with the emotions and feel them and let them just go and bring something new into your life. Thank you, Olga.
And beautiful metaphors that came to me when you said like you need to bring new rug. Even if you choose to bring the old one, you need to roll it up and take to new house so you will see everything that you swipe underneath it. So
Oh,
you still need to look at your emotions and release them. You cannot hide from them.
thank you. Yes. Oh my God, I love it. We know each other for 2 years, and I saw such a huge growth in you. You master so many tools already. How did, like, day to day life change for you?
Yes, that's a wonderful question. And it's something actually I was reflecting on maybe a week ago. Because again, like I feel I'm shifting my timeline. So something needs to be changed and released. And my days typically are very busy because I'm starting up many things and then I work with my clients and I have a very young child and been single mother. So I used to prioritize everything and everyone before myself, and the mostly it's the work I need to do. And what I started to shift more and more towards, it's actually prioritizing myself. Because especially for people like me and you and other healers, coaches, energy workers, we need to feel at, if not 100%, at least 90% to be able to help others, because our energy is pretty strong and potent. So when we come to our clients with all that tiredness, emotional baggage, to-do list, we cannot serve. So in order for us to serve others, first of all, we need to serve ourselves. And even if some things in the day will not be done, it's okay. So for me, it's my morning starts with meditation, even if it's just 5 minutes. It's wonderful if you have like whole hour to dedicate to it, but if not, even 5 minutes, that's everyone can do it. For me, it's usually in the shower in the morning. And then after my child in the daycare, I do energy healing on myself. And I had some moments where I got pulled back in my previous life where I prioritize my work and I would start my day with something else, my day wouldn't go as well and I wouldn't accomplish as much as I do when I do energy healing. I think like when we are balanced and grounded, we just more concentrated and we can achieve more in less time. And I always watch how I feel because sometimes, like let's say, I see something that triggers me, or I feel like I want to criticize, or I feel emotional out of nowhere. I really stop in the moment when it's happening to see what's really going on, like what happened 2 minutes before that, like 5 minutes before that, what's happening in the moment, like what I was thinking about. So it helps me to catch that root of emotion or feeling or mental state and work on it immediately and release it. So I do this growth work every moment of life. And I started to journal. I never journaled in my life for like the past 10 years. It just wasn't for me. I didn't understand when people were saying that, like, just take pen and journal and start writing something, it will come. It didn't. Now it does. And for people who feel like, they cannot meditate or they cannot visualize or they cannot journal, don't worry, maybe it's not for you at this moment, and maybe something else will serve you much, much better. So just keep looking for your things that make you happy and allow you to stay balanced.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you. Exactly. We are all unique, and we have to find our own unique way. And as you said, when we shift, also our tools change. But thank you so much. That's a lot that you do during the day. But the self care is super important. We cannot serve with an empty cup. Olga, awakening often helps us feel more connected to the universe, nature, our higher self, and ourselves. How do you experience this connection now?
It's really hard to explain with words, but in like everyday things, I learned to trust my intuition, and I feel like a lot of information comes my way, like answers to the questions or like guidance, and that's really amazing. But the best thing that happened for me, it's that like everyone say like just feel you are supported by universe, feel you are guided, but nobody tells you how to do it. And when you're in the middle of hurricane, it's really hard to trust that like you are fine. And I remember like for me, financial insecurity was like the biggest fear. And if something would happen with my job, I would like run beforehand and like apply to 100 jobs and get interview like next week and get new job. Or like if something, start happening, so I would activate and I would like, do everything to get new thing. And it's from the lack of trust. Like I need to take care of myself and I need to create things for me. And connection with universe gave me this amazing feeling of being supported, and how it looks like in real life. You're just not stressed. You're not stressed about things that happen. And usually, we're not even stressed about things that happening. We more stressed about things that our fantasy draw for us in our minds that may happen in the future. So it's even like sin didn't happen yet and we already like in panic mode. So I don't have that anymore. I really feel guided and supported. And when I feel like, I really need to go in that direction or try this thing or pose this or do this, I do it and I know it's the right step. I I don't double guess myself anymore. I don't question. I know that like if it came to me, it's the right step. I don't know where it leads, but I know it's the direction I need to move in. And when you're in this calm, grounded, balanced state, you see things more clear. Like you don't look at the things from the fear perspective. You look more from like observer perspective. So you see bigger picture and it's easier to make choices, to make decisions and to move towards your goals.
Thank you. I love it. Olga, thank you for sharing. Definitely helpful. And for those who are at the beginning of their spiritual awakening, what advice would you give them?
I think like, I would appreciate this advice at the beginning of my journey. And I will give it to those who at the beginning now. There is so many teachers and there are so many tools. So never feel like because one tool doesn't work for you, nothing works for you. Just keep looking for your own tools. And if you don't see the tool you need or didn't find it yet, but you really feel like certain actions or steps will help you to feel better, just go with this. Because we're all unique and every teacher, they tell about things that work for them. And people who are like them, same energy structure, same human design, um, those things will work for those people amazingly well, but then they will not for the people who are different. So, like, if something doesn't work for you, never believe that, like, if you cannot master it, nothing will happen for you. Just look for the tools that will work for you, and you will find one.
Thank you, Olga. Beautiful share, beautiful advice. Olga, so now let's talk about where people can find you and what they can learn from you, and a little bit about the amazing work that you are doing. How can you support others?
Sure. So I can be found, the best way to find me, it's on the Facebook. You can
Okay.
contact me either through my personal page, Olga Golovanenko, or through my business page, Inner Evolutions. And modality I work with, it's combination of metaphoric cards, energy healing, and coaching. And why I love it and how I came to it, I felt like when we work just on one side, like either energy or mindset or like, setting directions for our movement, it's, something is missing, like one piece of puzzle is missing. And that's because we are whole system. We are not just energy body or just emotional body or just mental body. We are whole. So we need to work on everything, on the whole mechanism. And I always start with metaphoric cards just because they work very deep on subconsciousness and they pull out things that maybe we're not aware of, or they became so much of our second nature that we don't even see it as a potential block or something that like beliefs that stops us from moving forward. And of course, I love energy healing because it works on your energy and allows you to clear those blocks energetically. So it's easier to rewrite your beliefs and to make step forward on your new timeline. And of course, I employ all other modalities I know if it's needed, but like these are my favorite tools. And recently, I started to work with business owners. Like it could be small business owners, like startup phase, or like when business is trying to get in the new market or increase the income, whatever may happen. And I use the not that much metaphoric cards as just figures to allow business owners to test different things and to see how different decisions will affect their business moving forward. And also, it's not a secret when we establish our business, we bring our energy into it, which means not only positive energy, but all our beliefs and blocks, and they affect our business as well. So another thing we do, we rewrite mission of the business, and I help business owners to clear their own beliefs and blocks to bring new energy into their business.
Olga, may I mention, because well, I had a short one session with Olga just to see how the business, yeah, the that was the metaphoric cards, right?
Yes.
We did, yes. So I want to mention because I remember you explained to me. We put my belief system, the business, and our customers, and I remember like exactly getting into the field of the customer and I was getting the information. And what was the most exciting? I remember the day after I've met with my sister and we have brand together. And I told her about that. And she looked at me like skeptical. She's more down to earth. She was like, "No, are you joking me?" And I was like, "No, actually, let's tune into our clients." And we were doing some offer. Let's tune into our clients and see if that offer resonates with them. So she did that. And I remember she was like, "Oh, they really answered." And I was like, "See, I told you." And the answers come like so unexpectedly. So really, with the technique that you provide, and I know that was just a short one, so I can imagine how powerful it is when you go really deep with you, Olga, with the technique. But even my sister, she was like, "Oh, it's like we don't know how it works, but it really works."
Yes, it is. It is very deep. And thank you for sharing your experience. I love to hear it. I love when people have this aha moments like, whew, I can change that. I can change this. That's where we're going. And honestly, it helped me so much. Like I got this tool only like a year ago for the businesses, and it's very new tool on the market in general. But oh my god, if I would have this tool like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it would have been so much easier to build my business, and I would have avoided so many setbacks and mistakes because like all information is there, and you just need to be open to receive and tap into it and then take actions, and that's it. Like no more guessing, you just know it.
Exactly. Thank you, Olga. And yes, and maybe we can mention because you are coming out with the program. So maybe you can mention a little bit about your program.
Thank you for this, Sylvia. So I'm starting working with clients on the program. which will allow, so there are two directions actually. One for the people who look for the jobs at this moment, just because of the current situation on the labor market and so many layoffs, and people really stressed and disoriented. So one part of it is to help people to land their dream job through the same method. So what we do, we actually we want to see how recruiters see them, and of course, like only when recruiters see their CV. So we test what needs to be changed, what like is turn away for their CV, and what actually is yes, it works for their CV. And next, like most important step, it's hiring manager, because like of course people choosing people. So part of it is skill set, and other part is like how compatible we are and with whom I really want to work. So it's also to be able to tap into hiring manager for the specific role if like they have upcoming interview, and to see what that person expect from the ideal candidate and if they are compatible. Because honestly, like maybe it's your dream job, but as the saying goes, people don't quit jobs, they quit bad managers. So like maybe you also will feel like, no, I don't feel like I want to be in this company or work with this person, and it's a powerful sign. And also, if you're choosing between two offers or two companies, you may have a feeling like, oh yeah, that works better for me. Like I have more opportunities there, and actually I feel more connected with those people than these people. So it make it easier to choose, which I feel like it's amazing. I wish I would have these tools like at the start of my career. And a second part where we actually have a program, it's we are rewiring business, and it will work great for the business of any scale, but I feel like the best results will be achieved by the small and medium-sized business owners, because again, like these businesses are more agile and can be adapted faster to the changes, and it's all about like learning things and taking steps. It's individual one-on-one program, because every business is unique, and I want for the person to get the best results and to be able to actually take their business step by step through like the situation they are facing now and to the goals they want to achieve. And also, for somebody who just looking to start the business or trying to start the business and it feels like it's not working, it's a great opportunity to start from the right foot, because we also will write the mission for the business. And mission for the business, it's really business's DNA and it's heartbeat of the business. And business always will strive to fulfill their mission. And for owners with existing business, we may need to rewrite this mission to actually get business going in the direction we need. So it's amazing program. And at this moment, I have open registration for first 10 people. It's free. It's one session. And in this session, you can just tap into root cause of the problem. And then you can decide, like, do you want to work on it yourself? Do you want to work on it with me? Do you want to go through the whole program and really rewire your business? Do you want to fix just one specific issue and take it from there? And after first 10 seats are taken, it will be donation based, and we will take it from there.
Wow, incredible, Olga. Thank you. And may I ask you one question? If there is few owners of the business, is it okay just if just one goes into the session and works on the business, or actually it is yeah, I mean, like, it is better for all of them?
Yes, so thank you for this question. It's actually a wonderful question. So, as human beings, when we start business with someone, especially like family member or best friend, it feels to be the best business model because you're with somebody you trust and you know and you can rely on. In reality, it's the hardest business model to go with just because we bond with people based on similarity of our traumas. Sorry. And so when we come to the business, we bring all those traumas in there. But also very often, more often than not, we feel uncomfortable to say, like, I'm the main person, I'm decision maker, like I have 51% in this business, and the other person to have 49%, or like, any variation, we go for 50-50. And 50-50, it's like no one in charge. So everyone in charge and no one in charge. Because you have the same responsibilities and normally they are not like well mapped. So business literally doesn't know who to follow and at whom to look, like like little child, when both parents don't take full responsibility, it's 50-50. So maybe it's me, maybe it's you. And child stands there like, okay, who's feeding me today? Whose 50% it is? It's the hardest business model ever, and I truly recommend to have this conversation with the other owner and to choose who's like more senior business partner and who's less senior business partner. And it's not about like years of experience. Usually it's about resources that both brought into the company, or its responsibility that each is ready to take. Because really, even if it's just 51%, so 1% tipping point, it's about 1% of more responsibility. And in reality, what hides behind this like 50-50, it's I want to share responsibility. Like no one is ready to take full responsibility. And that's where business kind of spins around but doesn't really know where to go. So we can start if it's two business owners and it's 50-50, they both can attend, and I had clients like this. But my advice really to have this conversation with other person or people. And it's very hard conversation, I totally understand it. And really settle who has that 51%. And I mean, it can be like 70%, 30%, or 80%, 20, but it's really about responsibility. And when you have that like 51% owner and 49% owner, the one who's 51, he like or she takes more responsibility, more obligations, but also they are leading. So in this case, if there is this, 51, 49%, it's like I would suggest to work with the senior business partner because they are leading business and they are usually main decision maker. But Also, the other business partner can be present if they want to. And of course, we include in the practice both of them, like in the field with the like figures.
Thank you, Olga. And for example, if there is few owners, and for example, there is one owner who has, I don't know, let's say 30%, so the most. Does it mean if that only one owner works on the beliefs and does all that work, is it also like the business gonna evolve, or also the other people, if they're not gonna work, they're gonna pull down the, put down the business or affect business maybe with their belief systems?
Mm. Definitely, all people in the company they affect business in one way or another, and that's why like sometimes you probably experience like you really love this job and this company and these people and everything really resonates with you, and then like changes were happening in you, like you grow and like you don't want to be there anymore
Mhm.
because like energy of the system, which is business, is now different from your energy as an element of the system, and system like kind of pushes you away because you are not match anymore. So of course when we start working really deep on the business, like some people may leave, new people may come, and what happens between owners, so usually the one, so the best way to split like who's the senior and who are more junior owners, business partners, it's to see who brought how much capital, and capital it's money and other resources, because we make our decisions and choices with money usually, if you think about it. And if it's impossible, if like let's say two brought 50-50 in resources, it will be who brings more of like effort, involvement and decision making in the company. And the one who, let's say if it's bringing resources, so the one who brought the most of resources, they may be not involved in like day-to-day operations. It may be even hired person who does it, or like junior partner, but they still have like the main to say because it's their resources, so they have more voting power. And as they change, they will lead all the other ones. So everyone will shift and change. It's the same like one person works in the family on themselves and everyone else follows. So that's the same thing what happens. And also, if let's say it's split like, okay, so we brought same resources, but I actually like work on strategy and I lead the company and you do like daily operations. So the one who creates strategy and leads the company, they take more responsibilities. And if we work with them and clear their beliefs and rewrite it and like revamp their relations with their business, they will lead the rest of like junior partners.
Thank you so much for explaining. That makes so much sense, and at the same time, it is so helpful. Thank you, Olga.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I'm going to post Olga's informations below this video. If you liked it, follow for more, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Olga, for being here with us. Thank you so much for so much wisdom that you shared and your beautiful story.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Sending lots of love. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. Thank you.